Hey, it's day 10 and we're in a really important week, acting intentionally. And today we're going to talk about painting a vision for your relationship, because by the end of this week, you're going to have a drawn out vision for your relationship, all your key relationships, and that's so important. So it's really exciting, and this can give you a whole new picture for what your relationships could be. They can be closer, better, deeper, richer than you'd ever imagined.
And we really do want to help you come up with some action points so that you can get there. But really the first thing you have to do is see where you are in the relationship and be totally honest about where you're at right now in your 2 or 3 closest relationships. And, when you go to the mall or you're at a amusement park and you look at a big board that has a map on it, it always says, "You are here."
Kerry really doesn't know that from being at the mall, though, because he doesn't really do malls. But if he were to find himself in a mall, that's what he'd find. Okay, go ahead.
The mall just tires me out. I mean, I can be at a ball game and I'm all excited and I'm filled with energy, but you walk into the mall and I'm almost convinced there's a lack of oxygen in the mall because it just wears me out right when I walk in the door and I just have to sit down. Chris, on the other hand, she walks into a mall and she gets a bounce in her step. Now, I don't know why we're talking about this because it has nothing to do with this day, painting a vision. But thank you for adding that, Chris. You are here. We have a few barriers in our relationship that we'll be working on after this video. But you got to admit where you're at. You got to admit what's going on in your life and in your relationship and just kind of rate where you're at. And I think it's important for you to talk together with that person you're relating to, because they may think, well, it's an 8 on a scale of 1 to 10, and you may think it's a 2 or vice versa. And so you really need to talk about, well, where are we in our relationship right now? And then you've got to see what the relationship can be. We live by faith, not by sight, the scripture says. So we have to first see what the relationship could be. And some of you are really having trouble seeing what the relationship can be because it's really hard for you to see it could change. It's really hard for you to see it could get any better. But you have to be able to see where you are, and then you have to be able to look ahead to see what it can be. And that's the first step. And so when you see what it can be, then you have to kind of say it, talk about what it can be, and then you have to sketch it. What we want you to do is write out a picture of what you see the relationship becoming. And maybe you use words like, I see us being more in love 5 years from now than ever before. Or I see us laughing a lot and having a lot of fun together. I see us having a hobby that we share. I see us getting together once a week for coffee. I see, what do you see the relationship being? I see us traveling the world. I see us, always being totally connected, totally sharing vision together. I don't know what it is, but it's kind of a general picture that you want to write out the vision, you want to sketch it. But the problem is there's all these barriers that keep us from seeing what the relationship can be. So the first thing we want to do is just really say a prayer for you that God will open your eyes to see what the relationship can be. There's so many times in Scripture where God opened people's spiritual eyes to really see. And that's the first step. And once you see it, then you can say it. And then you can sketch it out and write it out. And once you've written out the vision, and again, on the website here, you can, really look at our vision for our family, for our marriage, and for our friendships, and that can help you out. But then write out some action points. Once you write out the vision, then you want to write out some action points of how you get to the vision. But you got to constantly see it and constantly see it with God's power, and then say it, and then sketch it. I remember, Chris, it was our 10th anniversary, and we were sitting at the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado. I'll never forget it, an anniversary dinner. And you said to me, Kerry, what do you want our marriage to look like 10 years from now? What do you want our family to look like 10 years from now? And we just started thinking about it. What are some of the things that we wrote down? We sketched it.
Yeah, we wrote down specific things, and our items might not be the same as yours because they were specific to our relationship. and our family. But that's what makes it great, is when you actually write down things that pertain to your relationship, to you and your children, your families, your key relationships. Think about it. Nothing great happens in your relationship without deciding which way you're heading in your relationship, which way is the boat pointed. And so take time to do it. It's worth it. If you are thinking of a marriage relationship as we talk about this, then we found that our anniversary is a great day to be a reminder. We talk about it during the year, but no matter what, on our anniversary every year, it's a great reminder to say, okay, wait, let's pull out our plan. Now, where are we headed in the right place? Or have we made progress since last year? Are there things we need to change? Do we need to make mid-course corrections? But it's a great reminder. If it's a different relationship, then I suggest that you find a day, it may be a birthday or some event, that you can sit down and do this at least once a year. You need a big meeting, a coming of the mind, a day where you just devote to that. If it's a key relationship in your life, then it's important enough to deserve a day, one day a year, to really think through this. And if you're just getting started, then we encourage you, start with one. Start with one to really focus on, and then spread out to the 2 or 3 that you're focusing on this month. And you will be so excited to see the progress that you make. You don't know that you're making progress if you don't know what you're trying to get to. And so once you decide what it is you want your relationship to look like, you can take those baby steps and end up with the relationship you've always dreamed of.
Yeah, and I think many times people are afraid to say what they want the relationship to be because they think that's really not what it's like right now. That's not reality. But that's the only way it becomes reality, is you really have to have that goal. And so our prayer for you today is God will open your eyes to see what the relationship can be. God bless you, and we'll see you tomorrow.
And our dream for our relationship is that someday we'll be taking hits off each other's oxygen tanks.
Sitting in the nursing home, having love at last sight.
And rocking chairs. So, stay tuned to see if that comes true.